Good evening. Before we get to your comments this evening, I want to share with you what I had to eat today. And this makes day number 7 that I've shared blow by blow what I had to eat each day. It probably hasn't been very exciting because I don't have a whole lot of variety in what I eat. And but anyway, this will be the last of this day by day chronicling of what I eat. What I might do is at the end of the week kind of jot down some of the different things, because we do have a tendency to make stuff that'll last for several meals for the week. And if we make something different than what we did this past week, I could share with you what that was, some sort of casserole or something that's going to last for several days. I could tell you what that was, but I won't go into a day by day blow of it going forward. I'll answer your comments as often as need be, and try to focus on some specific topics also, like autophagy and different issues that are related to this lifestyle and all. So anyway, what I had to eat today, my normal routine in the morning with water and coffee. No, nothing different than other days. At 1:15, we both had our first meal of the day at 1:15, and that was, for me, that was bacon and eggs, 3 eggs over easy, yolks still runny. That's the way I prefer them. And then 5 strips of bacon today, and then had nothing to eat until this evening at 6 o'clock. Our daughter comes over a lot of times on Sunday to visit with us, and she likes to go out to eat, and she loves sushi. So we went out for sushi tonight, and we found some sushi rolls that have no rice, and I felt like that was the best. It's always a challenge when you go out to a restaurant because you never know what they're putting in the food, and I think we made wise choices tonight on the sushi. We just got rolls. Between the 3 of us, we split 4 rolls that had no rice, or fish and crab meat and all. There's one roll that looks like it's got rice on the outside, but that was actually crab meat, and I'll show you some pictures of those. Now, and you can look at them, but those are all no rice rolls. And so that was it for what we had to eat today. It was through by 6:15 or 6:30, so that was like a 5-hour eating window for today, and that suits me well. That's the way I like to keep it. And okay, I'll get right to your comments here. TT writes, if you feel hungry when doing intermittent fasting, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil or coconut oil or butter in your next meal, tea, or coffee, or eat a little more fatty meat. I would totally agree with that. I gave similar advice to someone before that was concerned about portion sizes, about how to cut back on portion sizes. And in that same context, I agree that increasing the fat content of your meals when you do eat is a good thing. Anyway, I basically agree. Another way to curb your appetite during the fasting period is with salt. Early on in mine, I got the pink Himalayan salt, the crystal, where it's little crystals, and I would pop that. I did that more when I was doing a 48 or a 72-hour fast. I would pop those under my tongue, and it would, make the hunger pains go away. So anyway, that good comments there, though, TT. All of your comments are always really good. Good information there. And next we'll go to Tim Shell Leo. Thanks for the video, Bill. Try Oscar King sardines. They are the best. I like the Mediterranean style. I have tried Oscar King. I wish I could think of that particular brand that I've definitely tried Oscar King. They're very, very good. But there is one other kind that I think it was Dr. Berg convinced me was a very healthy kind, wild caught type thing. But I forget the name. The package, the box that they come in is kind of blue and green. And next time I buy a box, I'll show you a picture of it. But I don't think you can go all that wrong with sardines, and they're a real good healthy option. So that you're not eating bacon and eggs all constantly. You can throw in some sardines there too. And I like liverwurst too. Some people call it Braunschweiger. Dr. Boz recommends that a lot. Love it. The only problem is I used to always eat it on crackers or on dark bread or something like that. And now when I eat it, I just eat it with a fork or something, because I don't want the bread or the crackers or anything. So that took a little getting used to. But as far as liver goes, beef liver, and my wife fries that up with some bacon, and I eat the two things together. I can eat liver by itself, but with the bacon, it's really good. Judy Buher, enjoying your talks. It would be helpful if she could make a video of how she does the ribeye steaks. Please post your recipes. Thank you very much for sharing. Ribeyes can be very simple, just salt and pepper and throw them on the grill. We have a gas grill out back, and we almost always do our steaks on the gas grill. I like mine rare, very rare, and so that's usually how I have it. Now, my wife likes to marinate them with something before she adds the salt and pepper and throws them on the grill. And we found a soy sauce that has 0 carbs. And I'll probably show that on another video, show you the bottle, which brand doesn't have any carbs at all. But the bottle we have in the fridge has 0 carbs. I know that. And so anyway, doing the ribeyes, to me, it's a pretty straightforward thing, because I would eat them just with salt and pepper, or even just salt. And so anyway, now Deborah Sadler. Hey, Bill, thanks for answering my question, and thanks to your wife, Isabel. She is awesome for the great food recipes. I don't drink coffee nor tea. Is water the only thing I can drink in the morning? Well, again, this thing of what you drink in the morning, the whole idea is not to break your fast. If you're trying to do intermittent fasting, you don't want to drink anything that would break your fasting routine. And there are certain things that will break it, and certain things anything with carbohydrates is going to break your fast, because it's going to stimulate insulin. And I would never drink fruit juice I wouldn't drink it at all, because I'm so concerned about my blood sugar, but I definitely would not drink it during a fasting period. Too many carbohydrates there. And also, when we're talking about breaking a fast, we're not counting calories, or I'm not. I think only about carbohydrates and making sure I get enough fat in my diet that I have the energy that I need and don't feel hungry. And another thing you can drink during your fasting period, like in the morning, if you're fasting in the morning, is bone broth. Just when you make your bone broth, don't add carrots and onions and all that when you're making it. That'll add some carbohydrates to it and could break your fast. I know there are people that do add carrots and onions and all that, but we made our own bone broth for a good while, especially during the first 4 to 6 months that I was on my journey, and we didn't add anything like that. The only thing I added to it after the bones were taken out and I was drinking the broth, it just added a lot of salt to it, was all. And man, that was really satisfying. You felt like you'd had a meal, like you'd had a nice bowl of soup or something, but it doesn't break your fast or anything. So bone broth can be very powerful, especially I use the bone broth more in those 2 and 3 day fasting periods, which I didn't do a lot of, but I don't really find it necessary on just an intermittent fast. Even when I went to just doing one meal a day, I didn't really feel the need for bone broth or anything. Although it would be a great option if you feel like you need something like that in the morning. But I've felt more like I needed some help on that when I was trying to do a 2-day or a 3-day fast, 48 or 72-hour fast. Carbonated water is another thing you could drink. Just be sure it's 0 carbs. Club soda, look at the bottles and when you buy them, and make sure there's 0 carbs in there. And that's something about that fizzy water. It makes a good makes you feel a little bit more full, not like you've had something other than just water. And one thing I did, my wife reminded me of this, that sometimes I would just drink hot water like it was tea. I didn't put a tea bag in there, but just hot water, and sometimes put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in there, and just a little squirt of lemon. And the apple cider vinegar is good for helping to control your blood sugar. It's good for a lot of things, but it's especially good for helping to control your blood sugar. And now we'll go on to the next comment. Julie Gray. If you can't find 100% brand of the dark chocolate like I showed in the last video, you can use baking chocolate unsweetened in the baking section of the food store. Sometimes it is difficult to find anything above 95% at my store. I normally can't eat I had always been buying the 95%, and I went looking for it the other day, and right next to it was this 100%. I think the 95% is fine. But the 100% is even lower carb. The 95% is very low carb, especially if you're just eating a little bit of it each day. But the 100% is even lower in carbs. And then Julie Gray also says, I love Max pork rinds. They're just more fluffy and not many hard pieces to jeopardize my dental work. Yeah, I don't want to ruin your dental work over a snack like pork rinds. When our daughter was over today, she's always loved baking, and for me, desserts have never been important. They weren't before I went low carb and everything, and they're not that important now. But she said if you think your subscribers might be interested in seeing some cooking videos on preparing keto friendly, low carb keto friendly dessert options, that she'd be happy to film those for us, where we could put those up. So if you might be interested in that, give me some feedbacks in the comments section, and we'll see how that goes. She's happy to do it. So I'll stop for now and end with live healthy and finish strong.